Hey folks, welcome to a brand new series on California Central Valley. My name's Lossing P, and let's get right into it. I believe we got a bunch of equipment waiting for us to go do some silage harvesting. So let's see what we got. Looks like we got two Krone Big M's and an assortment of very nice haymaking machinery. Cool. So let's get some field spot, get some grass planted, and see if we can't make some money doing hay. I do plan on doing exclusively hay and silage on this map, so we'll see how that goes. Might have to change my plans halfway through the series, but for now, that's the plan. So, first things up is to buy some land. Now, let's see, we are over here. This is where the barn is. I'd rather not have to go drive too terribly far to get to the barn. So, looks like we have to buy that piece of land, and that is expensive. And that piece of land is even more expensive. Nice. So, I really hope that I don't have to buy this piece of land. Oh, that's why it's expensive. I hope I don't have to buy this piece of land in order to use the barn. I guess I should probably test that out. If I have to, then I will have to add some money into the save game just to get going. So, looks like I can buy those pretty easily. Up there. There's also these this unnumbered field over here, which I am not 100% sure what that is. If that's just a random field that didn't get numbered or what. So, first things first, let's see if I can actually sell a bale of hay over here. And that will determine whether or not I have to go and add some money into the save game. And yes, my frames are super low today. Not 100% sure why that is, but they are really low. So we're going to go across the map over to the shop. And pick up that hay bale. So, yeah, let's get it done. Also, I need to adjust my steering back sensitivity. Because that is a little ridiculous. Let's turn that down as well. So, in the comments on this video, let me know if you guys want me to do this super realistic where I follow traffic laws and stop at stop signs and, do things to the best of my abilities, or if you want me to just farm. Just get things done and carry on regardless of stoplights, traffic laws, and pretend that there's no consequences for driving like an absolute maniac. But for today, I'm going to try to drive somewhat sensibly by Western American farmer standards. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. Now over here I've never really seen a setup like this for hauling hay. Over here in the States, or at least where I live in the United States, I've never used one like this in real life. It's always been, a flatbed semi and a loader or a telehandler. Load the bales, get them out of the field. But seems to be a pretty simple and easy method of hauling hay, so I'm down. Whatever makes my life easier, I'm alright with. So, as we're driving over here, take a little bit of time to point out that this is actually very similar to what this part of California looks like. This is, again, on the California Central Valley map. And it looks pretty close to what this looks like. I mean, there's a lot more grass in the Central Valley. There's not so much of the, just dry dirt on the sides of the road. It's pretty wet over there, pretty lush, at least in the spring, and then towards the fall it gets lush again. In the summertime it will dry out, but there's still grass on the sides of the road. Also, there's a lot more orchards than there is fields. But as orchards aren't something that's necessarily in Farming Simulator, in the base game of Farming Simulator, which this is not the base game. There's a lot of mods on this playthrough. But there's a lot of orchards. There's a lot of olive and, well, not olive, but like almond and walnut, some pistachio, a lot of fruit orchards, oranges, peaches, grapefruit, a lot of citrus in the Central Valley. And I just drove past the store. Yay, off to a great start. So, pull a U-turn, as we do. And down the road we go. Hopefully I won't miss the store this time. Wait a minute, did it spawn the bale? It did. So this is the actual main yard of the farm, and I believe the spawn point for all new vehicles is actually over here and not at the store. And this is not something that I've changed. This is just how the map comes. They can spawn at your main yard, and you go pick them up. Apparently my driving is absolutely horrendous today. So let's get this bale picked up, go back over to the barn with it. And see if we can sell it. If we can't sell it, then I will have to add some money in so I can buy that chunk of land. That way we can actually sell bales. So, I will not be doing time lapses or jump cuts of this playthrough. This is going to be 100% what I do, y'all get to see. And I'm not going to cut things out if I mess up. It'll be on camera. If I cost myself a lot of money by doing something dumb, then y'all will get to see that as well. But I'm going to try to not do that because costing myself money is not the goal of this playthrough. Goal of this playthrough is to make a lot of money doing something that's fairly popular in this part of the United States, and that is growing hay and doing silage. There's a lot of silage that's done over in Central Valley area, Central California, parts of Nevada. There's a lot of silage that's done over there. And so I'm going to try to make this as close to what would actually be grown and the type of farming that would actually be done in Central Valley. We'll see how that goes. If I have to diversify a little bit and get into maybe some root crops or some grain crops. There's not a whole lot of grain crops that are grown in Central Valley. Most of the wheat and corn that is planted over there is harvested for silage, not for actual grain. So, speaking of harvesting silage, somebody's going to cut some corn. And this is not multiplayer, that is part of the AI traffic of this map, which is pretty cool. Kind of like that, where they add in farm equipment, where it's not just slow moving cars everywhere, it's actually got some farm equipment that you would see in a community like this. You would see farm equipment on the road, on the freeways. It's a pretty common thing, and driving truck in Central California, it was always a headache dealing with the farming equipment because farm equipment has right of way. So if there's a tractor driving down your side of the road and let's say you didn't see him or you couldn't get slowed down or stopped in time and you hit him, you're automatically at fault because farm equipment, again, has right of way. So it's interesting to see that the map creator actually put that in here, that there is actually equipment on the roads. And actually Bakersfield, it's where my grandfather was actually born and raised. Well, not born and raised, but lived most of his life, was in Bakersfield. And so that's kind of cool to see that. To see that this is based around Bakersfield, which it's a lot smaller. Bakersfield is actually a fairly large town by my standards. Whoa, what the heck was that? And so seeing that in the in the map and actually getting to play in the town that my grandpa lived in and worked in for oh, the better part of 50 years is pretty cool. Try not to run over the pedestrians here, even though they're walking right on the curb. That's really dumb, but you know, pedestrians do what pedestrians do. Hopefully there's no jaywalkers. So I can tell you right now, as a truck driver, people that aren't following the law, that aren't actually doing what they're supposed to do, are oftentimes more, well, all the time, are more of a danger to everyone around them than you would expect. They're unpredictable. They don't do what you would expect them to do, and as a result, can really cause a lot of headache and a lot of stress, even for someone who's just driving a car, driving a pickup or a car down the road. If somebody steps out in front of you or pulls out in front of you when they're not supposed to, it's super stressful and super uncomfortable, or unreal at times what they do. It does not look like I'm going to be able to sell here. Dang it. Alright, well, I will have to add in a little bit of money so I can buy this chunk of land and that field across the way, which is... Tell me it's grass. It's not. It's canola. Dang it. Great. Well, that's not really what I was hoping for. Let's take a look once this saves. Take a look and see what we've got for fields. So field 31, I know is grass, because as we were passing that one coming down the road, it showed that it was grass, but it's 1.1 million. Now we can buy that, but we can't sell bales here, which kind of puts us in a stalemate. This one is 2.4 million. What is field 16? Field 16 is cotton? Yes, it's cotton. I don't want to have to get cotton equipment and harvest that. I don't want to have to get a harvester and harvest this. So I'm probably going to plow this in and yeah, plow it in, get some grass planted on it, and make this my primary grass field. And I might plant some corn up here on field 16. So let's go with the awesome little mod here, the easy development controls. And it was what, 2.4 million? Oh, dang it. It was 2.4 million for, I guess I didn't need to do that. For this chunk of land, right? 2.45 million. So if I add in 1.5 million, should be good to go. So 1, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh crap, that was 15,000 or 15 million. Negative 1, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's try that again. 1, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. There we go. That's more better. Alright, now let's buy that chunk of land. Yes, I would like to purchase that. So that does not leave us with a whole lot of money to spend on equipment. So let's see what we can get to get that field done in a reasonable amount of time. I'm probably just going to lease. Actually, we have two fairly large tractors here. Yeah, the JCB 8330s. So what's the horsepower on those? They are a 348 horsepower tractor. Alright. So let's go with disc harrows. What do I have? The Lemkin takes 400 horse. I bet you the JCB could pull that just fine. It's a 16 meter, that's a 10 meter, that's a 12 meter. So I am going to lease two of these, and we'll get to cultivating here. So let's drop the baler off, take this tractor right here. Drop the baler off. Get this tractor over here. Do one of those number. The awesome follow me on. And go for a drive. Back over to where we just came from. Would help if I could remember where the gates are. And actually, since I'm thinking about it, I'm going to grab those other two JCBs to bring the planters over. Ooh, four-wheel steer. I don't play with these tractors very often because they're only just recently starting to make an appearance in the States. They're a primarily European tractor, and so we don't really see them a whole lot here. They're a fairly new concept. Now, when I was in Texas, I did see quite a few of them, mainly used for road work for like hauling silage and pulling wagons and whatnot, but not nearly as many of them as I saw Challengers and Fendt and Case and John Deere. So I'm not going to sell these tractors. I'm going to keep them since I have them. Make sure that train's not going to come by and smack me. And I need to get on the other side of the road. So yeah, take another quick little cruise, and I have my speed set to kilometers an hour just for the GPS purposes. It doesn't always work quite right if you have it set to imperial instead of metric, so miles per hour instead of kilometers. The measurements are kind of odd. They're not round measurements. They're thousandths of a foot and it just makes it really, really hard to actually get your exact width on an implement, because everything in the game is in meters. So trying to get something that's in meters to an exact measurement in feet and inches just doesn't work like you would think it would. Or maybe that's just me. So I generally leave my speed in metric. We can go on this side of the canal too, I believe. I generally leave my speed in metric. I keep the money in dollars, as it would be here. And I will be keeping the speed at ×5, except to grow the grass on that field. We get the grass planted on that field, then I will bump it up to speed up time so that we can actually get the grass grown. I should probably wait for these tractors, otherwise they're going to lose their track on me. Guess they don't quite accelerate quite as fast as I do. But yeah, that field across the way there is grass. Maybe at some point down the line we'll try and buy that field. Get a little bit of capital built up from baling and selling hay. And see if we can't get that field bought. Because that would be pretty cool. I would not mind doing that. Excuse me. Now I'm going to have to buy 2 tractors and a set of tedders because hay does not naturally dry in the game. So I will end up having to buy those. I do have some cheap little Ford tractors that work really good for pulling the tedders and whatnot. They're pretty awesome little tractors. I use them quite a bit. I grew up driving one, so a little bit of nostalgia driving one in the game. Don't hit that harvester. Yeah, you're good. Y'all go so slow back there. Holy cow. It's going to take 40 evers to get down here to the store. I don't know, but I'm not 100% sure that those smaller JCBs go quite as fast as this one. So what I might do, set the cruise and then knock it back to like 50 and just kind of keep it right there. See if they can keep up. I do have the the diesel exhaust fluid add-on in here, so it's also something we got to think about. Keep an eye on, make sure that we don't run out of DEF. So if you run out of DEF, I do believe you can no longer drive the tractor until you fill it up with DEF. Kind of the same as running out of fuel. Just one more minor little detail to keep in mind. So, let's get on up here to the shop and get these disc harrows and planters hauled back up to the farm, and I will place down some seed refill points and fertilizer refill points. So we will be fertilizing. And I will be buying a spray rig to do that. Not sure what spray rig I'm going to buy yet. Guess that's something we could look at while we're cruising down the road. Crop protection. Might end up going with that guy. It's actually a really cool little spray truck. Does a really good job. I'm going to wait up right here for these guys again. Good Lord, they go slow. I will probably end up selling the mergers that we have and upgrading with a wheel rake mod that I have. It's very well done and looks pretty American. It's not an American brand as far as I know, but it looks pretty good. So probably end up going with that sometime down the road when we have a little bit more cash on hand. I also have an 8R over here that I'm probably going to sell, as well as some semis. I'm going to try and convert everything that's not, super American. Try and convert all of that over to American style equipment. So while these guys are catching up, I'm going to park this right here. I'll show you what all we got going on here at the main yard. So we have an 8R right here with a little bitty corn planter behind it and a little bitty cultivator. Now for the size of the fields, that would take absolutely ages to cultivate and plant. This will probably be staying because that is very common in the States. Then these guys over here, those trailers you don't see very often, but I don't know, the trucks might stay. I have a couple of truck mods that look pretty good and are fully functional mods, so I'll probably end up going with them. So let's take that guy off of follow me and get tied onto these cultivators here. Go get some cultivation work done. It would really help if I could drive today. So, I hope these tractors can pull these speed discs. It's not, having a speed disc is something that you see quite often in the States, but the brand is not really what we have over here. We don't usually have Lemkin or anything like that. Hold on. that is the alarm clock telling me that my 30 minutes are up for this video. So, I will get the planters ordered up. We're going to need cedars, and I have a cedar in mind. This guy. This mod just recently came available, as far as I know, and it is honestly a very solid, well-built mod. It's from LBJ Modding and a bunch of other people. LBJ Modding makes some really, really high quality mods, and they're all very American looking. What is going on here? They kind of, oh no, they're folded up. Looked like they were kind of morphed into each other there for a second. Let's tell him to stop. We'll get this guy tied on right here. Backed up. Run over here, tie this guy on, and then we're gonna wrap this episode up. So, if you like what you see, let me know down in the comments, and I will definitely continue to do this. If you have any input as far as the map itself goes or the gameplay style, let me know in the comments as well, and I will see what I can do. So, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Have a good day.